See, now the Keen's here, we're not going to talk over it, so fuck!
It's the show where you control what's on the agenda. Ask us anything and we're bound to answer. Starring Rick Nash, Corporate King, and the Queen of Irish Wrestling, Katie Hardy. It's Ask Low Blows.
Hi! Corporate Keen here. No, I can't do it, Keen. I can't do it, Keen.
What was that accent?
Hi! That's how he says hi. Did you never notice that?
Hi.
Say hi like Corporate Keen. Can you picture him in your head saying hi?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. No, he's not that Damo and Ivor about it.
No, because it's just hi. I noticed that, like, because he's got, like, kind of a normal Dublin accent, but when he says hi, he just says it really, like, posh and friendly. It's like, hi. It's weird, like, it's like, he's just taken over hosting this show now, but, like, because he's not here this week, I feel like I have to, like, do a Keen to, like, in case people miss him, because, like, they're like, this is Keen's show now, and it's like, I hosted this for like 2 years, I can do the show, guys. It's
yeah,
fine.
but they're all like little Keen minions now, banging the table going, Keen, Keen, Keen.
Why are you doing this to me? Like, we have to do a show now. Why are you giving me that, like, in the back of my head that I'm just so not keen right now? Guys, it's been a busy week in Low Blows Fantasy, or the draft. We need to come up with a better name for that.
We can't call it the fantasy.
It can't be the draft, though.
We can't.
Like, the draft is, like, the draft happened.
Like, I actually said the phrase, Phil, because I talk to him about this draft all the time.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen, but I talk to him
Is he the
about
guy
it.
who picks your team? Like, in like, if you ever watch The League, it's a program about an NFL fantasy team, and there's one guy whose, like, wife knows more about football than him, so, like, he gets to join in all the banter, but really she picks the team and makes all the decisions for him. Is Phil that for you?
Well, see, here's the thing. I know more about wrestling at the moment than he does.
Fair.
About current wrestling and,
Yeah.
like, who's, like, where the storylines are. So he'll try to explain strategy to me, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm doing that. But, like, I'm clearly not doing it because I'm losing. But I like to think I'm doing it. Yeah, because I had to say the phrase to him, like, I'm really happy Marco Stunt is in Jurassic Express now because they're all part of my fantasy. And, like, it just didn't sound
And you have
great.
a history of fan fiction and all, so, like, he's like, where is this going?
Yeah, it just didn't sound great. I know Marco Stunt is 23, but, like, I just didn't sound great. That I was like, yeah, Jurassic Express are part of my fantasy. I was happy he's in the team now.
You're
Welcome.
still doing quite badly, though.
No, but right, I'm actually going to just take 1 second here to talk through, right? Finn Balor, my WWE man, just start wrestling, is going to be on a winning streak.
Yeah.
Nakamura, still champion. Charlotte Flair is just going to keep winning. Kabuki Warriors, the only people they're going to lose their titles to is Charlotte, who's also on my team.
So, like, but you're going to, like, nullify that.
No.
Yeah.
No, because then they're going to win. Like, if they drop it to Charlotte and Becky, then they'll go on a winning streak. So it all works out fine. Cody, that should actually be Christopher Daniels, because switched
That's
last
fair.
week. He's going to feud with Pentagon now.
Stupid switch.
SCU are tag champions, so there's going to be lots going on there. Hikaru is now the number 1 in the rankings for the women on AEW.
Okay.
So we're going to see a lot more of her. And Jurassic Express are deadly.
All right, fair enough. Well, like, here's a problem that I have with you, because we asked...
Wow, I've heard that before.
No, but not just with you, with Keane as well. Like, you are playing it really weird, because Keane, I asked him before, we were talking, like, there's no mad heat issues, guys. We were talking before today, and I was like, do you want to make any transfers? And he said, I want to trade Big E for Big Lad Rezar. And, like, you are playing it in such a weird way. Like, both of your AEW singles wrestlers are tag team wrestlers. And Keane's tag team in WWE is 2 singles wrestlers, Harper and Rowan, not a tag team. And now he's got a tag team wrestler from AOP in as a single wrestler.
Well, that's stupid. And his tag team aren't an actual tag team and aren't even on the same show anymore.
Yeah.
So that is idiotic. But I have a solid strategy because my biggest scorer so far, out of all the wrestlers I picked, has been Kazarian. Because I picked him and then they immediately won the tag
I
titles.
hate that you were validated with that. It really bothers me that worked for you.
Well, it's because they put such an emphasis on the tag division, and so it makes sense to pick a tag wrestler. Because in AEW, they don't feature everyone every week.
Right.
And you've already kind of got like the big singles wrestlers.
Okay.
So that's a solid choice.
Okay, fair enough. I can't argue with you, and that bothers me so fucking much. Alright, so you don't want to make a transfer
No,
this
I'm
week.
happy
You're
with my
staying
team.
loyal
No,
for
it's
once.
just if we can make that switch that I made last week where Christopher Daniels instead of Cody.
Yeah, okay, so fair enough. I'm going to make a transfer. I called this last week. I'm going to take the Fiend out because I just used him for 1 week and threw him away. I'm not going to call him back afterwards. And then it was a one night thing with me and Bray Wyatt. He's out. Kevin Owens back in.
You gave me such abuse for making transfers, for not having loyalty.
I know, yeah, but that was just a joke. In reality, it's part of the game, and I think you're crazy if you're not making a transfer now, if I'm going to be honest.
But I've got a solid team right now.
You're in third place. You're losing by 85 points.
Yeah, I know, but that's because the first week handicapped me, because I didn't get any points.
We've all had bad weeks, okay? So, the scores updated, and we've tweeted this out if you want to have a look, and you can see how it breaks down wrestler for wrestler. Keane is on 355 points. I am joint top with him now at 355 points after winning the week last week. Last week was a fucking great week for me. MJF, Hangman Page, won the same match. I got 2 sets of winners' points. And then my tag team, Private Party, beat Santana and Ortiz as well. Keane's tag team. But then, you guys came back strong on the WWE and NXT weekend, so fair enough. Okay, grand. So we're at 355, Katie's at 270, and not making transfers because
Yeah, but did I have a good week this week in particular?
Yeah, all right. Balor won. Yeah, but you wrestled this first match since you've had him. Balor got you the first points that you've got off him this whole year.
But now he's going to be
Do you think that he's going to wrestle every week, or is he going to be a special attraction?
I don't know.
Well, look, your format is working very well for you there in last place. So if that's how you want to play it, then that's your call. Well, whatever you want, guys. It's the show where you control what's on the agenda. I'm not used to saying this now. It's weird going back to being host. You guys are in charge. Ask us anything, and we will answer them. You have got on in spades. Thank you so much, guys. We're gonna try and get to all your questions. No promises though, because there are a lot. Clueless Nerd got in touch and asked, "Do you think that Adam Cole had one of the best months in wrestling ever this month?"
He had the second best behind Rhea Ripley, I think.
I think Rhea Ripley was a weekend though.
Yeah.
If you want to judge Adam Cole, think of back to the SmackDown match with Daniel Bryan, and then on Raw against Rollins. Ladder match last week. Just last week,
Oh yeah, he did deadly.
Can you think of 1 month? It's hard because
Well, I don't really remember dates and stuff.
Yeah, you're not that wouldn't be your forte. I can't think of a better month. Austin had some pretty savage months in the Attitude Era. I'm not gonna lie. I can't think of one better month though, off the top of my head.
It's only really been recently that we've had people so spread out over brands and stuff as well.
Yeah.
We haven't really had people being able to get that much exposure in a long time.
Think of I don't know, Triple H, wrestling. I don't know.
But even then, it would have just been Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah. But if someone's wrestled classic matches on Raw, I've got one. Do you remember Benoit? In 2000, wrestled Austin on SmackDown. Do you remember that match? They had where he gave him 15 German suplexes one after the other, and came so close to beating him for the belt. I think it would have been 0-1 actually. And he had a month like this and then on Raw he wrestled someone else, and then he wrestled Austin and Jericho, I think, for the WWE Championship, and he was just on absolute fire. Then you have I can't think of specifics.
I think Jeff Hardy had a really good month. The month he won the IC title from Triple H. Because I think Team Extreme were at the height of a lot of stuff, and then he ended up getting that fluky match against Triple H and winning the IC title on Raw.
Was that around the same time he fought the Undertaker in the ladder match?
I think so. He had like a crazy few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know how spaced out it was, but I do remember like all of a sudden he just got massively popular and ended up with the IC title.
Yeah, and WWE like doing that where it's like even Mysterio winning the US title this week, they like doing it where a guy will go hot and they'll just be like at the end, they'll give him like a mid-card title. You won't win the main belt. You come close to win the main belt, but then they'll be like, here's the mid-card title. You earned it. As well, like a few, like if you want to think of like, I remember the SmackDown 6. Do you remember like they had like Edge and Kurt Angle and Benoit and the Guerreros and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Mysterio was in there too. And they just had some awesome matches. Like every SmackDown, like they had like classics every single week. So they're up there too. I couldn't give you a definitive one because I don't have the memory. But like it's an interesting one. If anyone wants to do, if we have any columnists out there who want to put research in or anything like that, that's a very interesting question. Thanks for that, Adam. Brian Maniac got on and said, what is one wrestling match that you predict will happen in 2020? You could be in it, so you could give a spoiler if you know any wrestling matches you're going to have in 2020.
I don't know any matches I'm going to have in 2020.
Fair.
Couple of new places I'm going to wrestle. I know that. So I imagine there'll be some cool matches. One wrestling match I predict. I think. Okay, let's think of OTT. I think we're going to get David Starr versus Scotty Davis at some point.
I think that. I also think David Starr and Terry Thatcher.
Oh, yeah, that'd be whopper.
I think that for the belts.
Yeah.
I really want to see both of those matches, and I want to see, we said this before, I want to see if he can turn them heel.
Yeah.
In the same way he turned Jordan heel.
I can see David Starr taking on a lot of Irish people just to prove a point, which I think will be really cool. In terms of Fight Factory, I'm trying to think of a match I would like to see that I think might happen. It's kind of hard because I'm kind of like...
Yeah, don't want to give anything away. Like.
Yeah. Or else I'll say something and then if them lads are listening, I'll be like, yeah, well, clearly, like, that's happening.
Yeah. You're just gonna set yourself up to be annoyed.
WWE, Ray versus Dominic, I think could happen and could be really cool. Like
Becky against Ripley, I want to see. We spoke about that now. I really want to see that.
Trying to think of anything else major that's happening.
AEW is threatening there.
Well, we're definitely getting MJF and Jericho imploding at some stage.
Oh, that's going to be such a good feud.
Yeah, that's happening.
MJF, do you think he'll be like a babyface? Like, because I think he's going to be one of those guys that is going to be like The Rock, where he's so charismatic that eventually everyone's going to be like, we're going to get to the stage where like, we love him.
Oh, that's interesting, because I would have pictured Jericho as turning back face.
He could, and that would be more because MJF's heel turn is newer. So, like in that feud, the dynamic would be Jericho would be fresher as a face. So, that's what would be how that feud will go. But I think MJF is a big baby face waiting to happen because charisma always wins out. When someone is that charismatic, eventually we all get to a stage where we're like, I don't care, you can say anything, but you're that entertaining that I'm going to cheer you. And I think that's MJF all over.
I think we're getting the Keith Lee Roman Reigns singles match that they kind of...
Is that a WrestleMania match?
Could be. But they're both very facey, but like I do like the mutual respect and Roman tweeting about it afterwards and it'd be a cool match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Once you get into it, there's a lot to go on there.
Actually, my dream match for 2020, I want to wrestle Dom Tuck.
Okay.
I want that match to happen. I'm putting that out in the universe.
Right. Well, you're speaking to the Fight Factory general manager, so like there's a reasonable chance of it happening.
But give me 6 months to train for.
We're gonna do montages.
Yeah, I want a montage.
We're gonna like break the bank and get Sean Ryan in for it. It's gonna be sick, man. Mr. Linda Block, John Kenny. I haven't got to do with John in a while. He said it's been 20 years since Stephanie and Test's wedding episode of Raw. So wrestling weddings. Emoji, emoji, emoji. Classy or trashy?
I love a wrestling wedding. I love them.
Yeah.
They're trashy and I love them. Like Stephanie and Test was amazing. Billy and Chuck, amazing. Lita and Kane, amazing. Like, there's been a lot of very good weddings.
Faves. When Lita just, like, breaks down the entire feud, and it's like, you forced me away from my boyfriend, I had to sleep with you, you did this, you did that, you did this, you're a horrible person and I hate you, and then Kane just goes, that was lovely. It was spot on.
Yeah. The wedding with Edge, where she wore that fantastically revealing wedding dress.
Oh yeah.
She had a lot of weddings.
Vicky Guerrero and Edge also got married.
Yeah.
Was that the one where Teddy Long had a heart attack? Oh no, Teddy Long got married and had
He
a
was
heart
getting married
attack.
to Lillian?
No, not Lillian.
Lillian was engaged to Viscera.
Was he?
Yeah, because I only watched this again recently where she proposes to him.
What?
And it's gas, and I'd completely forgotten it had happened.
You're saying it and I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Was this when he was like Big Daddy V?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
she proposed to him, and I think he ended up cheating on her or something.
Oh,
I think they went as far as getting married though.
Holy shit.
Phil was supposed to do a wrestling wedding once. That was gas.
Really?
For NLW. I don't know why it didn't go ahead, but I do remember we'd only been going out a few months and I played the jealous girlfriend card and he's like, it's wrestling, it's not real, I dress as a cowboy.
Fair argument.
And I was like, alright, I suppose, yeah. I don't think a wrestling wedding's ever happened in Ireland though.
Who would an Irish wrestling wedding? Who would it be? Has to involve the Maycar Mafia in some way.
Yeah.
Woods. Dom marrying Amy Alonzi.
Oh my god.
I want to see it. I'm all about it. Like somehow.
Yes.
Like I want to see it. Like whether it's like she loses a stipulation and has to.
Oh my god.
Coming to an episode near you. I really want to see that now. TKD2682 said, this question is for Katie. How does it feel knowing Debbie will box the head off you on Saturday and take your title? This question is sponsored by Pentagon Jr. Now Keane's not here and Tony's stepping up in the ripping into Katie part.
No issues with Pentagon. Really looking forward to meeting him on Saturday. And Debbie's not going to box the head off me, so I'm not really sure how to answer your question because it's not going to happen.
Fair enough.
So
okay.
there we go.
There we go. Declan Bird 31 got on and asked, what would be your ideal storyline in wrestling if you could do one for me? If you could do one. For me, it would be a faction of wrestlers representing League of Ireland teams, and the main event of a show is Rovers faction versus bohs in a Survivor Series elimination match. He can do it with any question. He can bring it back to his interest. It's amazing. It's a skill.
Right, so there are some wrestlers who are actually on bohs and rovers sides. So on the bohs side, we can have me, Phil, Alexander Dean. Okay, that's it for that side.
So you and Keane are like bohs versus rovers.
Oh yeah,
Like there you go as well. Like yeah, how we never like
we
got
brought,
into that too?
or I know Alexander Dean brought Hyperstreak once to a bohs match, so we can claim him. Yeah, we can. He was there. He was there.
Okay.
Stephen Amell once went to a bohs match when he was in town. Went to Daily Mount.
It's like if you go to it, doesn't mean you're a fan.
It does. So that's my team of 5.
All right, fair enough. Who would be the Rovers fans? Declan, Keane. Who else supports Rovers?
I think there are Rovers wrestling fans or Rover like wrestlers.
Rovers wrestlers, yeah.
I feel like Cowboy Jim West might be a Rovers fan.
Okay.
I feel like there might be a few.
Declan, I think you're fucked.
Yeah.
I don't think you're winning that match.
Declan, try recruit some Rovers fans. Find out who's a Rovers fan and let's sort it out from there.
There you go. Dave Bandana. Oh, talk nerdy to me here on the Low Loss Network got on and asked, what is one thing that you refuse to share?
Crisps.
Yeah, you're one of those, are you?
I love a crisp sandwich.
Okay.
I love an egg mayonnaise and chicken sandwich with hunky dory cheese and onion crisps, right?
That is a lot. That is a roller coaster.
Yeah, it has to be plain cold chicken, has to be egg mayonnaise on white bread with a little bit of butter, and then has to be hunky dories, has to be cheese and onion.
Right.
And I have to lay the crisps out so they can't overlap. So I have to take the bread off and I have to lay the crisps out.
There can only be one row of crisps.
Only one row of crisps.
And then you put the rest on the side?
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
And then, like, I will take a bite of the sandwich and then a crisp, a bite of the sandwich and then a crisp. And it really upsets me when people start taking the crisps because it upsets my ratio. This is a genuine problem I have. I've snapped at my ma once for taking too many crisps when I was trying to lay them out on a sandwich. If I go to, when you go to a cafe and they give you crisps on the side, that's not enough crisps for my ratio.
Right.
So I have to buy a packet of crisps on top of that. It's a very stressful thing for me.
If you have one crisp per bite, how small are your bites if that's not enough?
They're small. I eat extremely slowly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so only tiny bites, and then like
Tiny slow
Alright,
bites.
okay, fair
with
enough.
a crisp in between.
Okay, fair enough. And they're crisps you refuse to share.
Yeah, like if I'm just eating crisps normally, I'll happily share. But if there's sandwich crisps, there's only enough in the bag for the sandwich.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I get that. Refusing to share stuff. I don't like. It depends. I don't like sharing a remote sometimes. If like I'm watching TV, I'm like, I'm watching this, I have a plan. I have like, I'm going to watch this and then I'm going to watch this. I've recorded this and I've planned this. This is going to fit into my time. I'm a very organized person like with stuff like that, and I'm really nerdy. Like I made a list, I'm going to share it on Twitter, but I made a list of like movies and TV shows I want to binge, and I've done all of it like in 2019. There's a lot. Like that's all the MCU, all the Game of Thrones, The Wire, like all the Star Wars movies. Like, so I'm very organized with that stuff, so I don't like sharing the remote. But then like if there's a group of people over, I hate having the remote because the pressure on it. So then I'll happily share it. But like if I'm watching TV, say I'm sharing an apartment or something like that, and I'm watching TV, I'm like, this is my TV time. You can come in, and if it's the right type of show, you can even talk. But I'm in front of the TV now, and we're not like, we're watching what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Not all the time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm a remote hog. But if I have the remote and if I'm watching something, this isn't a democracy anymore.
Yeah.
This is, you've come in and I'm in charge. That's me. What's one phrase or saying that people use that annoys you? We're only actually.
Yeah. Rant over is a big one if you listen to the main show. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk is a really redundant way of finishing a conversation. There's probably a lot more. Sometimes they're colloquial. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you said it right. I'm actually shocked.
Like,
no, well, it's not even that like that you'd say something right. It's just that when you think or struggle, you always end up defaulting to wrong.
Okay, right, Velasquez. We've all been there.
Yeah,
I say Velasquez.
yeah,
okay?
exactly.
It's hard for me to
Yeah.
say Velasquez. Like when Americans say on accident instead of by accident, I don't understand. How do you do something on accident? You're not on top of the accident. You do it by accident because it's just a thing that annoys me. Or also when they say, I could care less. I don't get it. I mean, if you could care less, then there's things you care about less than that. So it doesn't make sense what you're saying. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's
really
fair. That's fair. One thing the thing that came to mind here, and I tweeted about this before, and Keane, of course, being Keane, came straight in with it. The meme "Okay Boomer" really annoys me. Yeah, and of course Keane came straight in with it, like "Okay Boomer."
You really brought that on yourself.
I know. I knew it was gonna happen. Like, but what was it? And then poor Tony Kelly came in straight afterwards. I'm like, don't say that just because Keane said it. Keane jumped off a bridge with you. But like, it really annoys me though. I hate like that. That's one thing that bothers me and it's not even that like it's not the phrase itself that bothers me, but it's just the overusage of it.
Yeah,
I hate memes where it's like people who can't make up their own jokes just join in on the joke and say it.
Yeah,
I'm a very like I hate when people steal jokes or anything like that. So like I hate those kind of memes where it's like, I don't think of jokes, but I'm saying the funny thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I hate anything like that. It bothers me. And also as well, it doesn't make sense. The meme doesn't make sense. It's like, it's stupid fucking Stranger Things shit where it's like, old people are stupid, kids are gonna save the world. It's such a like, oh, shut up millennials. Like, this is why people hate you. Like, I'm not even saying all millennials think this way, but it's such a millennial thing to say where it's like, old people smell. And it's just like, fuck off.
It's like my dad does this thing and it really winds me up. He always pretends to support Donald Trump around me because he knows I don't agree with him. But he'll do it in a way he's like, well, my friend Donald says. And I'm like, he's not your friend. You don't actually believe in what he says. You're just trying to wind me up. And I don't want to rise to it, so stop. But now I'm rising to it.
Yeah, you're literally doing it.
But it's like such an easy way to trigger me.
Okay, well, now we know. Why would you tell us that stuff? Like, you're so lucky that Keane isn't here because he'd remember that. I'll forget that by next week.
But I don't know. I don't think it would bother me if other people say it, but because it's my dad.
No, you're very easy to get wound up. Like, sometimes I'll just say something blatantly sexist and it'll just work. Like, you'll just see the fire in your eyes immediately. And it's just like, you know what I'm doing, but, like, it still works. Tristan M. Carroll got on and asked, what should I get my ma for Christmas? Seriously stuck. Help, please.
Can't go wrong with a nice candle. They smell nice. If you spend money on a good one, good brand like Yankee, that's always a nice gift to receive. Perfume's always a nice kind of general one as well. Or, you could take a look what your ma likes.
Effort of that. Just ask.
Sometimes I do just ask.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, just ask.
I don't ask my mom. I ask my dad. Like, I'm like, what does ma like?
Yeah.
And then he says, I don't know. So I go to my sister, and she just tells me.
Mas love sentimental shit as well. Nice frame picture or something. They love it.
I remember I got a present for an elderly relative of mine, and like they just had a relative of theirs pass away. Like, it was their sister. I'm not giving too much away there, but it was their sister passed away a few months beforehand. So I got like a lovely framed picture of the gang of them.
Yeah.
When they were all happy and stuff like that, and like they started like she kind of at first she opened it and saw it, and then like she just like kind of let a tear out, and I was like, oh, I'm like, right, I hope that brings you happiness, and then like. I looked at her again like 5 seconds later. She's like, and then I looked at her 30 seconds later, and then everyone's standing around consoling her. And I'm like, oh God, it's got so horrible. Oh my God, I broke her. Oh shit. It was a bad choice. Get rid of it. For my mom, what I always do, this is a really good one as well.
Hang on, before you segue from that, she probably really appreciated it though.
Yeah, I know. Like, it probably, like, she looks back at it now. I knew it'd work eventually, but like, I just didn't expect her reaction to be that strong.
Yeah.
Do you know, initially, like,
yeah.
But it makes sense now. Like, I was young as well. Like, so, like, now I'm like, I should have pre-warned her. She just wasn't expecting to see that person at that moment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was very raw. But like, what I do for my mom, and this is a really good way of gifts, is I like getting people recurring gifts. So, for example, when DVD box sets were a big thing, I'd buy someone a series 1 of this show, and then I'd buy them series 2, and the gift was I'm giving them a show that I love, that I know they'll love, and I've bought them all. But also, it's like Christmas, birthday for like 6 years. For my mom, what I do is I buy her favourite perfume every year, to the point that now she expects that's when she gets the perfume, because it lasts for the year. Do you know? Because I get her a big fuck off bottle. So now, even I was having a conversation with her at the weekend, and she's like, I'm just actually running to the end of that, so I can't wait to get it. And I'm like, oh, I don't need to think about this.
That's nice.
It's the best. Also, as well, I bought these for my granny as well today, and it's really cool because I actually kind of want them now. Microwavable slippers. Yeah, because your feet get so cold like at this time of year, and like they're real cold. They're old, so they're cold creatures. So like I just saw them, and I'm like, they will love that. Like, so that's a good shout for anyone.
Food is a good present as well. So what I've done, because my dad's real fussy sometimes, and not fussy, it's just he's the kind of person, if he wants something, he buys it for himself. He doesn't wait on, and he doesn't really care about presents. So like if I know he has like favorite sweets or something, I'll make it into a hamper. I'm big on making hampers.
That's really nice though, because effort goes into that. You have to physically make it.
Yeah, or same with my ma. Like, she loves like fancy cheeses, so sometimes I'll put together a big fancy cheese board type thing, and like that's nice and thoughtful.
Yeah.
And over Christmas, like you can crack it open and all share it. So that's a good thing as well to do, and it's thoughtful then because you've actually made it.
Yeah, that is as well. Like, you can physically see you had to make this with the things I like. Like, that's a really nice present. Joe Stodge got on and said, favorite animated Disney movie and why? I love The Emperor's New Groove. It's an absolute belter.
Oh, this is such a hard question. I actually have a list up here just to flick through them just to make sure I'm not leaving it a favorite. Goofy movie is a big one for me.
Oh.
Yeah, I love a Goofy movie. I still watch it, like, if it's on. I love the classics like Cinderella and all, because that's what I grew up. I think my favourite was The Hunchback of Notre Dame, though. I went through a good few Halloweens where I dressed as Esmeralda. They're probably my two favourites. Actually, a recent one, Zootopia.
Ah, yes.
I love that.
The slot.
Yeah, I brought Phil's brother and nephew to see that, but really it was me seeing it.
Yeah, I did the exact same. I brought my ex's kid to see it, and like he had no interest in it, and she was like, I don't know if like, because we never like got away one-on-one at the time, but like she was sick, but I really wanted to see it, so I'm like, I'll mind him for the day. It's grand. And she's just like, but I don't know if you're ready. I'll mind him. But I don't know if I want you to go away. I will mind. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I just really needed to see that movie.
I've kind of gotten over having to take the kids with me though if it's something I want to see, because I brought them to see the Muppets. I'm a big Muppet fan. They did not like it. They were running laps around the cinema, and I was like, right, well, we're going to have to see it again. I can't follow the story.
I had my I used to do that with my little sister, but now she's 18, so I can't. Well, no, like I still do, if I'm being perfectly honest, for certain movies.
Yeah.
But like, what is it? I used to work in the cinema though, and this is just something that stuck with me, because I've no problem going to movies by myself. If I want to see a movie, I'll go by myself if I can't find something to go with. I've no issue. I actually kind of like it better if it's a movie that I really want to see, because I'm definitely not going to be disturbed.
I've never done it.
Really?
Yeah, and I have an unlimited cinema card, so I probably should just bite the bullet and go.
Like, yeah, but like, you know, it's probably a thing you and Phil do, though, is it? Like, and you probably
we do go a lot together, but there is stuff that I definitely drag him to that he doesn't want to see, or like, I love documentaries and like historical films and stuff, which isn't to everyone's taste. So
there's a way to do it though. Like, if you go at like, if you pick your time. See, I worked in a cinema, so like, I learned there that first off, movies weren't a big thing from working there, because like I was in cinemas all the time by myself, cleaning them or whatever. So it was just like, it wasn't a big thing. But also as well, when you work there, you realize everyone does it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone does it. Like people like coming from college, or people just hanging out from the day, and you're just like, why am I overthinking this in my own head? Why am I getting like crazy? Like, people are going to judge me. Like, the staff that work here know that everyone does it. That's all they serve until like 4 o'clock. It's just people going by themselves for 90% of the time. So the staff don't give a fuck about that. No one else sees you. You're sitting there watching TV by yourself, which you do at home and have no problem. You're in the dark. And then, like, you look around the cinema most of the time, and especially, you like, I'd never go on a Saturday night. I never go, like, when it's all couples.
Yeah.
And then just me, like, in the corner, like, can I sit with you guys? I never do that. But I go at, like, you know, I booked my ticket for Star Wars there, episode 9, and it's, like, Saturday, 10:30 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, that's when there's not going to be many people in the cinema then, and I get to watch the movie I want to see. And I don't want to watch it with someone, because I don't want to have to explain it or anything.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to commentate. But also as well, like, I do have an issue going to see kids' movies, because a lot of the time when I worked in the cinema, you'd see, like, the odd old lad in a kids' movie just sitting in the corner.
Yeah, it's not a great optic.
And you're like, that's creepy. That's creepy. You look like a paedophile, so I'd never do that. That's my line, and that's when I need someone to go with. For me, my one's easy. Inside Out is one of my like top 5 movies.
I haven't seen that one.
You need it.
Yeah, you've said it to me before.
It's so like, you need to like get ready emotionally for it. Like, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna make you cry. It's gonna hit. Did you cry a lot of Toy Story?
Yes.
It hits a lot of the same buttons. But it, like, for me, I prefer it to Toy Story because it gets in deep. Like, it's the story kids won't appreciate as much as adults. It's one of those type of movies where it's like, it's adult centric.
Like Toy Story 4 was.
Yeah, and 3 when it's like giving up the toys. It's like adults are going to cry at that. Kids are like, what's going on? You know what I mean? But it gets in at you like in that way, and it's very clever. It talks about like depression, and it's a really clever movie where it gives you like, it gives you ways of thinking about the world that you never thought about before. Like, why do you feel feelings, and how do you have long-term feelings? It's ingenious.
So a kids' film is going to give me an existential crisis.
No, but it's lovely. Like, it's lovely. You feel like you will cry, and you feel emotional, and it will make you think about the world differently, but then it brings it all together in the end. Like Toy Story, you know, where at the end of it, you're like, that broke me a little bit, but then it put me back together. Yeah. You know? Right, Idiot B 9720 got on and asked, what do you think was better, Space Jam or Looney Tunes Back in Actions? I think Back in Action is better. It's the hottest take that I have.
No, Space Jam is all-time classic. I think that might have been the first film I went to see in the cinema, actually.
Really?
Oh, definitely one of them, like.
Jesus.
Yeah, I have strong memories of going to see that in the cinema. Looney Tunes back in action. What it has going for it, though, is it's got Brendan Fraser, one of my all-time favourite actors. That's the one he's in, isn't it? Yeah, he's one of my all-time favourite actors. So, no, Space Jam still gets it.
Do you ever read the article about what happened to him?
Yeah, very sad.
Fucked up,
yeah.
I think we've had this discussion
Yeah,
on the show.
the Mummy wrecked him, like.
Yeah.
But I've been rewatching the Mummy films recently, and they hold up really, really well.
George of the Jungle, I'd be afraid of.
No, I rewatched that about a month ago.
What made you like go? Oh, wait, it's time.
Right, so here was my train of thought. I read the article about Brendan Fraser and then watched The Mummy, and then I was like, I fucking love Brendan Fraser. So I watched Airheads and I watched California Man, and then I was like, okay, I'm watching George of the Jungle. But I watched it on a Saturday morning, and Phil got out of bed and walked in and was like, are you watching George of the Jungle? And I was sitting there with a bowl of cereal and a glass of juice like I was 10 years old. I was like, yeah. He ended up watching the entire thing with me.
Nice.
It was gas, but it holds up.
Okay.
Sequel does not, because Brendan Fraser's not in it. But
it didn't hold up then.
Yeah, that's true. But no, it's very funny.
Right, okay. Jay Malloy got on, and Jimmy got on and asked what I said was the perfect question for a non-Keane show, because, like, this is one of the questions where, like, we get really into, but Keane would sit there. I can see him sitting there just bored out of his mind. But now we can get into it because he's not here. Frozen 2 is pretty great. The songs are fantastic. Personally, I think it as good as the first, and as a fan, I was massively relieved after all the hype. What film sequel were you happiest turned out good, and annoyed at how bad it was? So two separate questions there. We'll get to both.
Terminator has pretty solid sequels. We talked about this before. I even liked Rise of the Machines and stuff. Number 2 is still the best, and might be the best sequel of all time. Star Wars, a lot of the sequels hold up really, really well. Rogue One is my favourite Star Wars film. Even though it's a standalone, it's my favourite.
It's up there.
Here's a controversial one. Dirty Dancing 2. Amazing. It's set in Cuba, and it's got Diego Luna in it, who is in Rogue One. He's Cassian Andor. And it's I love it. If you like Dirty Dancing, watch it, because it's basically the same story, and even has Patrick Swayze in it as the dance teacher in Cuba. But it's an easy watch. Like, it follows the same story. I love like Latin music and stuff, so it's a good watch.
Is it literally just the same except as a Latin music soundtrack?
Pretty much, except it's about a boy from the wrong side of tracks and a girl who's on holidays, an American
Every
girl.
80s movie ever.
It's great. I
have a theory that, like, 80s movie, this is another discussion for another day, but I have a theory that 80s movies broke a generation of, like, women.
Oh, yeah.
In that they're like, no, you have to get a bad guy and change him. And there's so many people I know that, like, live that mantra because they've grown up on those movies. They're like, that's what love is.
Yeah.
And it's such a bad lesson to teach, because it's like, no, that's how you get fucked up. Like,
and then you moved into the 90s where some of the leading men were so perfect that they, like, real men couldn't live up to expectations. And you know who's the prime example of this? Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
The cat. And it's not
this is a hot take and a half.
It's not even a really romantic thing, but I guarantee anyone who's my age, like kind of late 20s, early 30s, one of their first ever crushes was Binks the cat when he was a human. And he gets turned into a cat because he's rescued his little sister because he's the perfect man. And then at the end, he's looking after Danny, and like he ruined a lot of men. Like.
I enjoyed what you did there, where you're just like, anyone who's my age, like 20s.
yeah, maybe.
24, 25, I don't know, that general range.
I'm 30, okay? Right. Anyone who's my age, who's in their 30s, thanks for making me say it.
I'm just saying, everyone knows, like, you did a whole thing about your birthday just a few months ago.
But some people still think I'm in my 20s,
you can't
and I really enjoy that.
You can't just lie when everyone knows it. Like, you're not old, like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be like, I'm 21. You just did a Henry Sellers.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what age are you? I'm 35.
The last two villains I'm going to mention are Shrek and the Addams Family. Great sequels.
Yeah.
All the Shreks were good.
Okay, no. Actually, no. I couldn't
No?
disagree more. No. I think Shrek 2 was a brilliant sequel.
Yeah.
And I think Shrek 2 was... It gave away, like, it gave them a false sense of security. Shrek was actually on my bad list because for me, the last two took away from it and, like, made Shrek into... they're doing another one. You know what I mean? And it's like where you're not looking forward to it. Whereas I felt with Shrek 2, I kind of went into that. I'm afraid I won't go see a lot of sequels. Because if I love the movie, I'm waiting for the reviews to come out. I don't want to ruin what I have in the first movie.
Yeah.
So one movie that I don't like, for example, that I'm willing to give another chance, but I still need more time to pass, is Anchorman 2. Because that dampened what Anchorman 1 was for me. You know what I mean? I can't watch Anchorman 1 because... For me, that was the perfect movie. That was like the perfectly funny movie. And then to see that same cast and that same concept be done badly takes away some of that perfection. Where I'm like, oh no, like
Kind of like Zoolander.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? So for me, Shrek 2, I went in with those reservations, and I'm like, they got away with it. I might have actually liked that more. Like, I love the whole, like, Bonnie Tyler, I Need a Hero sequence towards the end. I thought that was brilliant. I'm like, I might have enjoyed that more than the first one. And then I thought they should have quit while they were ahead. And then for me, the last two were it just became another one where it's just like...
Yeah, I didn't love the fourth one. I liked the third one, but the second one I really, really liked. 'Cause that's the one where Puss in Boots came in. Yeah, and I loved that character.
Yeah. And then the fairy godmother and all that.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, it was brilliant. I prefer that to the first one. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I definitely prefer that to the first one. That's the one I look back at fondly. Terminator is one. The most recent one I thought was a good example where they got away with it. They played the hits, but they did so in a good way. They, like, you know, you could accuse it of being tenuous at times. In some of the, like, in the way they kind of tied everything together, but then they did the right way where when the plot got a bit tenuous, they just threw in a bit of humor and a bit of, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger deadpanning a lot of stuff. I am hilarious. She loves me because I'm hilarious. I'm just like, all right, you got me back. They just kept me on side for the whole time, and they made it exciting, and it was really cool to watch a Terminator movie with the technology we have today. Because Terminator 2 is great, because I only watched the three of them there before seeing the first two there before seeing the third one. Terminator is a good example of sequels that I've avoided otherwise. I haven't seen any of the other Terminator movies because I waited for the reviews and I heard a bit of pushback on them, and I'm like, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to let it be perfect. If I don't see it, it didn't happen. Other things that are like Incredibles is one good example of a sequel I was so relieved. I think in the way Jimmy's talking about with Frozen, where it seems like he's afraid that it's going to be shit. And then he's like, no, it was fine, it was okay, thank God. I felt very much the same with The Incredibles too. When they made the baby the super one, I'm like,
I've never seen The Incredibles.
Have you not?
No.
That's a Christmas movie. Do you know what I love doing at Christmas? Like Stephen's Day particularly. I love binging movie series that I haven't seen before. A couple of years ago, I saw all of the Back to the Future movies for the first time. I've seen bits.
That's a good sequel.
Back to the Future 2. And 3. I like 3.
The Western one?
Yeah. I thought I got away with it. It was like, it was fun. Because it was never important or serious enough for you to kind of be like, no, don't leave it alone forever. You know what I mean? So if they messed around with it, I'm like, it's very high concept anyway. It's all about like Michael J. Fox and Doc and their chemistry. And if you still have that, the movie works. And they did. So I didn't mind it. But I love binging like series. The first time I ever saw Rocky, all of them was like over one Stephen's Day from like 8 o'clock till like 10 o'clock that night. I watched them all back to back. Like, this is years ago.
The last Rocky holds up really well, I think. I really like the last one, and that's when I was apprehensive going in to see, because I was like, this is going to ruin the 5 really good ones. Is that
Rocky Balboa?
No, there was one before Rocky Balboa, wasn't there? Or is it Rocky Balboa?
No, it's Rocky 5 and then Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, I think it's Rocky Balboa then. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. Creed as well is another one.
Haven't seen Creed yet.
Creed 1 and 2 are very, very good.
I actually forgot my favourite 2 sequels though. It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Like, amazing.
Yeah. And, this one, the one that just came out.
The one just came out.
Okay.
And Mamma Mia 2 is better than the first
one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think Is there any more? No, I think we've kind of covered a lot there. Scott Aspel got on and asked, Keane is raging he wasn't here for this one. What keeps you buying FIFA every year? Personally, I've fallen out of it because EA's BS microtransactions copy and paste game each year. Love to hear what keeps you buying each year. I don't buy each year. Last year was the first year I'd bought in ages, and I'll actually be real with you. It was because I was going through like I've thought about this in Nash. I was going through a bad stage with anxiety. I was like, I've never been worse last year. And I remembered, I'm like, computer games are really good for anxiety, especially repetitive games like FIFA or stuff that you don't need to think and you can just switch off. Because it gives you something to focus on. It gives you a task that you need to think about, so it takes your brain away from whatever you're anxious about, and then it also mentally exhausts you. So like it'll distract me and then it'll put me to sleep. You know what I mean? So I played it for hours and hours and hours, and I fell back in love with it. This year I get what you're saying about the copy and paste. Like even just the other day I was playing it, and I was like, they haven't even changed the entrances. They're shot for shot the exact same as they were in last year. Like the way they get into football games, the cutscenes. I'm like, that's fucking criminal, because that's something that you could easily just update or modernize or make new. So like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but like Keane put it very well, where he's like, a new ultimate team, a new career mode, playing with new players. Like, I agree with all of them as well. I love finding, FIFA's very good at finding who the next big player is going to be. And ever since I was like 7 and I heard about this kid called Carlos Tevez, and then he went on to be an absolute superstar in football, and even play for United and then become United's biggest rival. And then I was like, I love talent scouting in football and knowing who the next big footballer is going to be. So FIFA's very good at spotting those people. Like, so I'm scouting through the game, and I'm finding these kids in career mode, and then I'm learning about them in real life and stuff. So if I keep playing the old game, then I'm not getting those updated stats, even the updated jerseys and stuff like that. This year's game isn't as good. But also as well though, like, they've made enough changes this year. Like last year I stopped playing it because I kind of completed it. Like I had to change the settings on it to make it so I wouldn't win every game like 3 or 4-0. But this year they made enough tweaks in it that I had to start from the start again and get good. And I'm only kind of mastering it now because I'm getting a bit of time to play it because I'm off work this week. But yeah, no, that's what keeps me in. It's repetitive, and it is, but like, I like it. I like the core of it. So I don't mind it being repetitive because I want to switch off when I play it. If it was like an action-adventure game or a story game, I'd feel differently, but it's not. It's the kind of game you can play over and over. And it works for me. What do you think about the new FIFA game? What keeps you in, Katie?
Well, I actually used to buy it every year as an early present for Phil. But now you do everything online, and much like my dad, if he wants it, he just buys it. So I'm actually really annoyed that they've taken a present off my list.
Taking an easy one.
Yeah, like FIFA every year or Football Manager every year is such an easy present. Like, and yeah, now I can't do that. So thanks, FIFA.
You can get Pro Evo. Like, I know he's probably Team FIFA. He's not Pro Evo.
No.
But see, I wouldn't mind it. It'd be a nice thing to switch it up, because it's a perfect present. A present is something you'd never buy yourself.
Yeah.
But like,
but see, Phil would be like that. He doesn't spend a lot of money on himself.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not spending 70 quid on a game or whatever they are now. So like, it was a nice thing to buy. But now he just downloads it. Yeah. Because you know, apparently that's not the same as paying physical money in a shop.
You don't see it. If you don't see it, you didn't spend it. I get it. Butch OTT got on and asked, favorite toy you've ever seen on the toy show?
I don't know if I can recall specific toys, to be honest.
Can you think of great moments or memories or even people? Like, what's his name? You're John Joe, is it? The clock guy?
John Joe, the clock guy,
Sorry, I probably shouldn't do impressions of him. I didn't mean that. I meant that in a loving way. Don't cancel me, please.
There was a time Ed Sheeran surprised someone on the Late Late Show. And made them cry, and it was a really nice moment. I can't remember what it was, but I wasn't an Ed Sheeran fan, but I was like, oh, he seems like a really cool guy.
He's lovely. I'll tell you, I don't want to get into it, but I'll tell you an Ed Sheeran story after we finish. Like, he is genuinely a decent guy, and he'll forever be. Yeah, do you know what moment broke me there recently on a similar note? do you remember it wasn't even a celebrity. Do you remember the dad came home from a war zone and surprised his kids?
That stuff wrecks me, yeah.
Instantly, like, it destroyed everyone in Ireland. Like, in seconds, we went from nothing to a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. What was your favourite parts of the toy show? Like, for example, do you remember they had the cheeky kid, like, Damo or whatever he is?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
Here's Roike, here's the video games, what? And he was just the cheeky guy,
Yeah.
like.
I really like when they put the toddlers on the little motorised things and they just parade them and they don't know what's going on and you're really afraid one of them's going to drive off the side of the stage and one always goes rogue and there's just a panicked parent chasing them.
And there's one kid who's like the cheeky kid who's just like, going in the wrong direction, but they're looking at the camera like,
they know what they're
I
doing.
know I'm wrong.
And then there's the couple who are so young they genuinely don't know what's going on. And it always reminds me of the fire drills in one of the branches where I work. So if there's a fire drill and there's kids on site that are too young to be like escorted out, they have this big bucket on wheels and they just put all the babies in the bucket and wheel them out. And it is my favourite thing in the world to see. Like, whenever there's a fire drill, I run straight to reception so I can see the buckets of babies being wheeled out.
That sounds amazing. Can you please record that?
I'll try, because they just get wheeled out and some of them are loving it. Some of them don't know what's going on, but like, it's just the best sight. Like, buckets and buckets of babies.
It's a babies episode title. I'm buzzing now for the Toy Show Friday. Irish Slam Dan got on and asked, what's the weirdest product Wish ads have shown you on your social media?
I don't think I get Wish ads, do I?
Have you never shopped on Wish?
No.
I had someone, I think I've shopped once, but I had a girl I know put up, she put up a thing on Instagram the other day and she's like, these are the ads Wish sends me now, this is my life. And it was like an ad for two things at once. One was eyebrow tweezers and the other was dildos.
Wow.
That is telling a story. That is amazing. Sean McSauer got on and asked, what's the worst match tip you've seen and or been a part of on a show?
I've spoken about it before. The strap match where we used a seatbelt that didn't actually tie around our wrists was pretty bad.
What's the other one? Hairspray at a pole?
Hairspray at a pole. We don't need to talk about that anymore. It's probably the worst I've been involved in. Worst that I've seen. I generally enjoy mad stipulations. I don't know if anything sticks out as particularly awful.
Have you even seen... So for me, I've talked about this before, so I won't get into it, but it's DCW did a submission match with the Executioner and Danny Deans, two big lads who you look at and you're like, I don't want to see you do an abdominal stretch. Like, it was stupid and ill thought out. Like, they're not submission wrestlers. Like, it was just setting out to fail.
Yeah.
But have you seen like a good stip with the wrong wrestlers? Like, that's a good way to think about it. As well.
Yeah, submission matches are a good example of that. I did see, I don't want to name the people in it. I seen a hardcore match from the UK once on just like a random promotion, and it was two girls who I think were too green to be having a regular match, never mind be put in a hardcore match. And it was the most feeble, saddest, like not even getting a golf clap kind of, just people sitting there awkwardly waiting on them to finish and like,
they were killing themselves, weren't they?
Not even, they were afraid to do anything, which was even worse because they were afraid and then you were afraid for them and then everyone was just awkwardly afraid until like it finished. So it's like I think hardcore matches are not easy to do, but they can be very easy if you plan them correctly. Like, yeah. But clearly no one who has done a hardcore match sat these girls down and was like, these are actually cool looking spots that are safe to do, or like this is how you use a chair, like stuff like that. That is stuff you get taught in training schools, or you should be getting taught in training schools. Or
you can even just, like you say, you can, if you're in a hardcore match, you can pull someone aside and say, right, how do you do this? Even like, do you know what a great episode of Total Divas was? Daniel Bryan started training Lana for a ladder match, and there was a lot of things that, like, I'd never been in a ladder match, but there was a lot of things I never thought of. So he's like, try put a ladder together, or try pull a ladder up. And she was like taking loads of steps and doing it awkwardly, and she was like, and then I'll do this, and he's like, no, this is how a wrestler puts a ladder up, because you have to minimize the amount, you have to pull the ladder out all in one, you have to put your hands down the middle and do that, and then it's like, if you do it the wrong way, and you're like, oh, there's so much that goes into this, but you do need someone to walk you through that stuff when you do it for the first time because of that. That's a very good point. But yeah, no, there's loads out there. Guys, send us in bad examples, like even like random any matches. I always love watching a good shit show. Not people we know, but like, Simpsons WWE got on and asked, who's your most hated Irish politician? I despise the whole Healy-Rae family, but especially Danny for his sheer stupidity. You hate any Irish politicians? Not really.
Some of them annoy me for what they do. Hatred's a very strong word. I'm very much a person who values their vote. So if it gets to the point where I'm really pissed off at someone, I just vote them out. You know. I don't know if it's very boring. I don't think I have an answer where I really hate someone.
I hate like a lot of the people who are around the Celtic Tiger, like the arrogance of them, like the Mary Harneys. Joan Burton is someone I don't have a lot of time for. I interviewed her for an old radio show I was on, and she came on, I think for whatever reason, she thought because I was young, that she was going to get a soft interview.
Yeah.
And she met the argumentative version of me. The version of me who posts on boards every now and then. And that's a very difficult person to come across when I get into that mindset. Like, I'm winning. Like, I can argue. I had a teacher tell me that, like, I should be a solicitor because I could be so wrong, but I could argue myself into a position of rightness from any angle, no matter what. Like, and she met that, and then, like, she just had a little temper tantrum off the phone with me.
Yeah.
She's like, we never cleared those questions. I'm like, I asked you at any stage, do you want me to go over it? And she was just arrogant before, and she's like, no, it's all right, kid.
Yeah.
And then, like, she got a grilling, and she got roasted on there because she wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah.
And then she took it out on me, and I'm like, don't blame me for being good at my job.
Yeah.
Like, don't blame me just because I gave you a hard interview.
Yeah.
You weren't ready for it, and you got caught with your pants down. Be lucky that you're not on RT. Not a lot of people will hear this, but you don't disrespect me just because I'm young. Like, I was like 22 at the time, and she just thought she was getting an easy ride.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, I'm smart enough. Like, but I've haven't had much time for her since then. Henry the Great got on and asked at previous show. He said, "What do you think?" First off, he asked, "What do you think of sexism being used as an excuse for losing matches?" I said, "We're going to need more context for that." And he said, "At a show, person A lost to newcomer B Sunday." Person A comes out and shows video of defeat, then says he knows real reason why he lost, shows it again with a clock, count lasts about 2 seconds, then says that's what happened when a woman referees.
So I think more context is needed in this, to be honest. As in, was person A heel?
Yeah, I think it's a valid. It sounds like I don't know, like, I'm basing it off. I don't know what this is, and I don't want to know because in case we know these people, because I think it's a show that that was on in Ireland, so I don't necessarily want to know before I comment on it, because I don't want to, but off the face of that, I don't see any massive issue in it.
Yeah, see, here's the thing, if this is all storyline, it's fine to be sexist in storyline if you're getting your comeuppance. You know what I mean? So if wrestler A has come out and said, oh, that's what happens when a woman referees, and then a woman comes out and beats him, or said referee gets her comeuppance, because maybe she gets to count a clean 3 count on him or something, then it's fine, because sexism was used for the bigger story and the world balance that's true. Like, sexism is bad and wrong. Now, if it's like a booker being like, well,
women are shit refs,
and this person is a face and blah blah blah, and yes, the actual reason they did lose is because it's a woman, then that's not cool or right and doesn't have a place in this day or time.
It feels like this is a storyline though. If they're playing video of it, it feels like it's a heel using it to get heat. Sometimes that can be done cheaply, and then there's really no need for it because it's just like someone who can't necessarily get booed. I don't know who this is, so keep that in mind, and I don't know the full context of it, so I'm not being personal about this. Sometimes, but in general, sometimes sexism, racism, that kind of side of things, it can be done cheaply because it's someone who needs to go to an extreme place to get a reaction. But I'd be the same as yourself. I think all of those things are fair game for storyline if you're doing it the right way.
And here's the thing, female referees are quite a new thing in the business. So they're going to go through that adjustment period of being a novelty and heels using it for heat. We went through it with women's wrestlers and intergender matches, where every intergender match you saw started off with some lad going, but she's only a girl.
Yeah.
She can't beat me. Girl beats him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we don't need to do that trope anymore because we're so used to intergender matches.
Yeah.
A couple of years down the line, we'll be so used to female referees, they won't even be able to use that for heat anymore. It just will be a non-entity, like.
Yeah, no, I thought that's a great point, and that's pretty much the answer to that, without any further context. Devlin Connor got on and asked, what's the story with Cheap Heat? I'm surprised more people don't ask questions like this, because I was just saying a few weeks ago, like, I'd be such a bollocks if I was asking questions for Ask Low Blows.
Yeah.
I'd be shit-stirring all the time. There's not much story there. Like, I put out a tweet last week basically saying that I still get emails for TP are the lads who ran a different night against us. We told the story ages back on Low Blows, and they got shut down on their first night, and they were kind of dicks to me for no reason, even though I haven't really done anything to them. I don't know them. I don't have an issue with the lads. I'm happy enough for them to run parties. Here's the deal though, like, I'll give you an example, okay? So, for example, there was an issue before where there was a couple of people around that we were getting complaints with from women who came to our parties saying that they were unhappy with lads that felt they were going over the top in coming onto them, and the people involved didn't really have legs to stand on, because like one in particular used to make Facebook videos and put them out publicly declaring their love for these women and basically saying, and why wouldn't they go home with me? What? They were saying they have a boyfriend, but I know they don't have a boyfriend. And there was weird shit going on. And Katie, you've personally experienced, like, if someone carries on that way, like, I'm very, like, I don't want our parties getting a reputation. I don't want women to come to our parties and feel like, oh, there's loads of creepy lads there or anything like that. If I see that shit,
it's always been, it happened like once when I was there, and it got shut down immediately in a spectacular fashion.
Yeah, we've told the story before, but like, it's something that I take a hard line on. So we had to deal with it publicly, where we're like, this is the line we're taking. If you do it, you will be kicked out. And since other people have started to run parties, we don't get those complaints anymore. It's the easiest way I can put it. So I'm quite happy to let other people run nights, because I think they think that I have an issue with them because they're competing, but like, no, you're taking away a lot of the people we don't want there, and we're having a better atmosphere as a result, and it's not affecting us in any way. So I will continually get, I put out a tweet on the other day where I was like, I still get abusive emails from these people, and we still get pissy social media messages from these people, and like, people made it into more than it was, as if there's a feud going on. It was just a funny observation that it's like nearly 2 years later, these people are still sending me emails. I don't know them, I don't have a problem with them, this is weird, but there's not much of a story here. It's pretty much just that. Yeah, I don't want a feud. I don't want a rivalry. You asked, so I answered. That's what's going on. There's no story here. It's not a drama. I don't particularly care. I don't mind. I'm happy for them to let them run their nights. I could do without getting emails from the little group that they're in and the little gang of mates that they have. I could do without that. I know partners we have got emails from them, like, trying to stir up stuff, and they see that for what it is, so it doesn't affect us, but it's just like, it's just stupid and childish and petty, and I'm 32 and I don't need it. Last question. Kirk Cooper HM got on and asked, possibly a week late, but books a Serve Irish series. Brilliant name. Sorry that I didn't do it justice. 5 from OTT, 5 from Phoenix, and any 5 Nordies. Pick first elimination, MVP, and final 2. We'll fly through this. We'll go OTT.
I'm actually upset Keane's not here.
Keane would love this.
He would love this question.
Shall we keep it for Keane? So we leave it on a cliffhanger and keep it for Keane for when he comes back, because this is what he's all about. This.
Oh, the heel of me wants to say no. Let's just answer it.
Have you got something for it?
No. So it's your choice if you want to keep it for Keane. I know he would enjoy this question.
He'd love this. It's like, yeah, I know he winds us up, but he would love this. This is O'Keane's alley.
He does love fantasy booking.
He loves it.
It's his favourite thing.
We'll save it for Keane. I think you guys all appreciate that.
Will this
right?
get me some brownie points with Keane?
No, not at all. He will
None.
rip into you for bottling it for answering the question. that is where he's going to go. We know him well enough at this stage. So, yeah, that's it. Keane's not here, so I feel like I have to kind of do him justice in the way we sign off. Bye.